Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Beth, here to help you fulfill your potential in meditation. As most of you know, I don't have just one method that I teach to everybody, like one size fits all. Instead, I much prefer to teach people one-on-one. And the reason is that you're all different. So please use these videos as a guideline. And if there's anything that isn't quite working for you or anything that doesn't quite fit, then be in touch. And I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you one-on-one. Today's video is about the 8 jhanas, and specifically today I want to discuss what these states of mind are, why they're useful, and also a little bit about how each jhana is different from each other. Now collectively, the 8 jhanas are called Samadhi. We could say Samadhi is like an umbrella term for the jhanas in general. And we actually find Samadhi being taught in most spiritual traditions, or at least in the ancient form of most spiritual traditions, we can find evidence of Samadhi being practiced. Now, because when the mind is in Samadhi, when it's in those jhanas, the mind feels incredibly blissful, exalted, full of light, expanded. Oftentimes we can see that people took Samadhi, they took jhana, to be the end goal of the practice. We can see states of jhana or samadhi being called enlightenment, being called union with God, states of oneness, for example. And oftentimes they are described as the end goal of spiritual practice. Now, in Dharma, jhana or samadhi is not our end goal, but it is incredibly useful. Now, it might be true to say that we don't technically need the jhanas if we want to attain nibbana, if we want to attain liberation. It's possible to attain liberation, to attain nibbana, without having developed the jhanas first. But the jhanas are incredibly useful on our journey to liberation. Now, I've made a separate video about some different ways in which the jhanas are beneficial to our practice. I'm going to put the link to that one just below this one, so you can look at that if you want to know more details about the benefits of the jhana. But for now, just to say that the jhanas are a really powerful tool on our way to liberation. They develop a quality of mind, a quality of attention that is incredibly refined and powerful. And we can use that incredibly powerful, refined mind to practice the vipassana meditation that will then liberate us. So what are these jhanas? What characterizes them? Well, jhanas are characterized by an unbroken awareness on our meditation object. And specifically, it needs to be a mental object. By that I mean it's an object detached from the 5 senses. So we're knowing this meditation object without using our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, or body. It's the mind on a mental object in an unbroken way. And what we see happen is that as we pay attention to that mental object, the quality of our attention starts to improve until eventually the attention on that object is unbroken. When that happens, 5 qualities of mind become predominant and become very refined. And we call these 5 qualities of mind the 5 jhana factors. Now, the first jhana factor in Pali we call vitakka, and they translate as applied thought. This is the silent, rhythmical application of the mind to the meditation object. The second jhana factor, vichara in Pali, they translate as sustained thought. This is the silent sustaining of the mind on the meditation object. The third jhana factor is piti in Pali, or joy. The fourth is sukha in Pali, translated as happiness. And the 5th is our ekagata, translated as one-pointedness. When those 5 jhana factors are refined and well established in the attention on the meditation object is unbroken, then we can say that the mind is in the first jhana. And what happens is, as we spend longer in the first jhana, the 2 jhana factors of vitakka and vichara, applied and sustained thought, start to feel coarse. And we get the idea that without these 2 jhana factors, our experience would be even more peaceful and even more refined. And so we focus on our meditation object without using the vitakka and vichara, and instead just using the 3 jhana factors of piti, sukha, ekagata, joy, happiness, and one-pointedness. When we can sustain our attention with just those 3 jhana factors, we will enter what we call the second jhana, and it is even more peaceful than the first. As we spend longer in the second jhana, we will feel that even the joy of the second jhana is a little bit aggravating to the mind. And we will feel that the experience will be even more peaceful without that joy, if there were only the happiness and the one-pointedness. And so we focus back on the meditation object with just those 2 jhana factors of happiness and one-pointedness. And when the attention is unbroken on the meditation object with just those 2 jhana factors, then we've entered the third jhana, and it's even more peaceful than the second, even more blissful than the second. After some time in the third jhana, then even that happiness starts to feel a little bit aggravating to the mind, and we understand the jhana would be more peaceful, more satisfying if instead of happiness there were only a neutral feeling. And so we focus back on the meditation object with the wish for that happiness to become neutral. And when we can sustain our attention on the meditation object with just those 2 jhana factors of a neutral feeling and one-pointedness, then we can say that the 4th jhana is well established. Now, the first 4 jhanas are differentiated by the change in the jhana factors, but the final 4 jhanas are differentiated by a change in the object. All 4 of the final jhanas, jhana 5, 6, 7 and 8, have those same 2 jhana factors of a neutral feeling and one-pointedness. But in the last 4 jhanas, the object starts to change. Now, after we've spent some time in the 4th jhana, we might start to feel like the presence of materiality is coarse. And this means the presence of our meditation object as a material object is coarse. And we might wish to be free from that materiality. Wishing to be free from that materiality, we cultivate the perception of boundless space. It is free from any kind of materiality, including light. And focusing on that boundless space, we enter the 5th jhana. When our awareness on that boundless space is unbroken, we enter the 5th jhana. The 5th jhana has just the 2 jhana factors of equanimity and one-pointedness, but the object is more subtle. After some time in the 5th jhana, we might want something even more subtle, and so we focus on the awareness of that space. As we focus on the awareness of that space, we enter what we call the base of boundless consciousness. That base of boundless consciousness is even more subtle than the base of boundless space. After some time in the base of boundless consciousness, we might want the next most subtle one. And so we focus on the absence of that consciousness. What is there when we remove that consciousness? And that absence of the consciousness is the object of the 7th jhana. And we call that 7th jhana the base of nothingness. When our attention on that base of nothingness is unbroken, then we have stabilized the 7th jhana. And finally, wanting the next most subtle one, we incline to the base of neither perception nor non-perception. And the base of neither perception nor non-perception, the 8th jhana, is in essence what knows that nothing, the awareness of that nothing. As we focus on the awareness of that nothing and our attention becomes unbroken, we can say that we've stabilized the 8th jhana. So, those are the 8 jhanas. That's how they are different from each other. As I said, they are just a tool on our way to liberation. They are not the end goal, but they are incredibly powerful tools, and I would recommend you to develop them. So now is the time to get off of your screens, get onto the meditation cushions and start actually doing the practice. It is an incredibly rewarding practice if you put your time into it. If you're encountering any difficulty, if anything isn't working for you, then please feel free to be in touch, and I'll be more than happy to discuss any difficulties that you're having with you one-on-one. As most of you know, I do all of my work on a donation basis, so I encourage you to support me either through Patreon or through my website so that I can continue to make these videos. Thank you so much for your support. Wishing you the best with your meditation.